Good evening.
Good evening.
We're so glad to have Linda McClanahan and Joel Knapp doing music for us tonight. Let's thank them again. And we're so glad to have all of you here tonight. These days we never know, right? How many are going to be in person, how many online? We're blessed we're able to do both of those things, and we're really glad to have you here tonight. So welcome. Is anyone here for the first time that would like a little gift bag with some information about the churches? We're all old timers, aren't we? Good. All right. Well, so good to have you all here on this special night. So we're going to start with Linda and Joel are going to do a lovely song for us. It's kind of a lullaby, and it'll be a nice one for leading into a prayer together.
My love, my treasured one are you, sweet and lovely son are you. You are my love, my darling new. I give my love to you.
Let's take a moment and close our eyes and allow ourselves to become centered and still and aware of that power and presence in us, that light that shines through us, everyone, no matter the darkness around us, no matter the circumstances we face, we are filled with the light of God, and we celebrate that light tonight together. We see the light in each other, and we share it among us, and we radiate it outward when we go forth from this place. How grateful we are to know that at all times, in all places, and for living beings across the globe, we are one with the light of God, and it will light the path before us, moment by moment, by day and by night. So we feel grateful this evening. We feel full of that power, that energy, that healing flow of God in us. We affirm affirm it is with all those listening in on our service tonight, with everyone here in our sanctuary, everyone in our community, in our country, in our world, all across the planet. The light of God is spreading far and wide and is within each one of us. So we are fully present for this service this evening. We are grateful. We are ready to receive the light and to shine it forth. Thank you, God, for your unfailing presence with us now and always. And so it is. Amen. Lovely, lovely. Well, having Linda and Joel here, we like to do some quartet numbers with them once in a while, and Linda used to do choir for us. She's a master at getting us to learn our parts and everything. So we've got a couple quartet numbers tonight, and we're going to do one of them for you now. It's called So We Come to Find the Child by Mary Kay Beale. Right. Thank you. I think I'm okay. All right. Your gifts are probably already purchased and wrapped and ready to go. There's been a lot of gift buying and sharing in recent days. I was looking for jokes about Christmas gifts. I didn't come up with much, but I did come up with a couple of ideas about the very best gifts. That's my title tonight. What's the absolute best Christmas present? A broken drum. You can't beat it. Thank you. Also, really another very best gift idea, the universal remote control. It changes everything. I thought those were kind of good. That's the best I could come up with. This is a time of gift giving and receiving and a lot of thinking about gifts. We think, of course, at Christmas time, the gift of the Magi, the wise men in the gospel stories who brought valuable things, followed a star and gave valuable things to the Christ child, the baby Jesus, gold, frankincense, myrrh, very valuable things, as if they knew they were giving to not the son of a carpenter, but to royalty. So a lot of emphasis on gifts in the scriptures as well. I find I'm doing less gift buying. I think as we get older, we simplify maybe a little bit. Anyone else feeling that way? Less emphasis on that from when we were kids, but we all have so much history with gift giving and receiving, going way back, and in childhood, how important gifts were. We all have a learning curve on that. We all have a checkered history with gift giving. Wouldn't you agree? It's not something you automatically know how to do well. So I found myself thinking about some of my many failures in gift giving, learning things, as you go along. And we've all had, kind of successes and failures in our gift giving and receiving history. I remember I always liked to give my mother something like Evening in Paris. Do you remember Evening in Paris? I think because when I was a kid, I loved that cobalt blue bottle. It was so pretty. And it was $3 then. I was kind of curious. They sell it only in Paris now. It's Soie de Paris. And it's $45, an ounce or something like that. My mother never really liked Evening in Paris, but I gave it because I liked it. Which is something we do a lot with gift giving before we catch on, don't you think? We buy things because we like them. I often gave my dad Old Spice for that very reason too, and he didn't care for that either. My father didn't like any surprises at all, and I kind of learned he'd like to get King Edward cigars, Sir Walter Raleigh tobacco, or peanut brittle. That was it. Didn't want anything else. And to do that, you were honoring his preferences. Our imaginations fail us sometimes in gift giving, as well as other things fail us. In adulthood, early adulthood, I remember one of my biggest kind of failures in a way of gift giving was I had gone to a lovely little Christmas party given by a friend named Bob, and he had guests over. He wanted to do an old-fashioned tree trimming with real candles and everything. It was quite lovely. And he gave every one of us a homemade fruit bread of some kind, banana bread or something like that. And a neighbor came up the very next day and gave me a gift, and I didn't have anything for her, and I gave her the bread. And then I was just like tortured with anxiety. I hadn't even looked carefully in the bag. What if there was a tag in there? Merry Christmas, Bob. Too late. Our imaginations fail us. Regifting is not a bad idea. I'm kind of into regifting, but do it carefully. Know what you're doing. So kind of thinking about what makes for the best gifts, and I think it really does get at the heart of Christmas when you begin to think about it a little bit more. There's an author by the name of Judith Thurman who said, "A gift that is well chosen intuits a heart's desire." And I think that's it. You begin to think about, what does this person really want? This person I care about. What do they really want? What are they excited about? What's their heart's desire? And she remembers one of her greatest triumphs as a parent was when her son was 5 years old and he wanted to be a policeman when he grew up. And she had already given up probably a couple of things in line with that aspiration of his, that desire of his heart, but she found a particularly nice item in a kind of a novelty candy shop that she thought he would really like. And sure enough, it was a big hit. Christmas morning, he was up really, really early, like 6 a.m., at her bedside, waking her up with all kinds of chocolate all over his face. And he said, there really must be a Santa Claus, because nobody but Santa Claus could know that I would want chocolate handcuffs. Chocolate handcuffs. What an inspiration. She got them at a candy store, but they were handcuffs. Oh, she was thrilled. That was her greatest triumph as a parent. He not only got police-like handcuffs, but they were chocolate. We're not always that successful in our gift giving, but I think that is one of the first lessons we learn, is to try to think about the desires of that person's heart. Try to intuit the desires of their heart. But I think there's more to it than that. Another author by the name of Catherine Calvert, she said what we want most in a present, the best present, it's something that expresses recognition of ourselves. Something that expresses recognition of who we are. So it's not just about intuiting what we want, but who we are. These are the gifts that really, really delight us, gifts that show someone has seen us, someone knows who we are. And I believe that's true. I was reading something about Albert Einstein recently. When he was a 5-year-old, he got a gift of a compass from his father and was endlessly fascinated with that compass, studying it. The scientist he was even then and was becoming, that compass really grasped his imagination. He said, quote, it was his first awareness that something deeply hidden had to be behind things. Something deeply hidden had to be behind things. And he was on track to discover what that was. In his teen years, he got from an older cousin the gift of a geometry book. And it so grabbed his interest and excitement and enthusiasm, he called it his holy geometry book. His holy geometry book. There was a real recognition of who he was and was becoming in that gift. I think that happens in all our lives. Some of the best gifts we've gotten have been those kinds of gifts, haven't they? From people who recognized who we were or who we were becoming. When I was a child, I got a lot of stuffed animals, because I've always liked animals and nature. I've always got diaries. I still remember the 5-year diary. That was the first one. Who had a 5-year diary? Okay. It's a girl thing. With a little lock, a little key and a lock on it. But I always had journals, diaries, things like that, and lots of books. The Secret Garden, the new Nancy Drew mystery, whatever it was. All of those kind of things. Wise gifts for kind of a bookish, introverted, nature-loving little girl. Good job, parents. Good intuiting. Good recognizing who I was. So I think that is true, that the very best gifts reveal an awareness of who we are. But I think it's even a little bit more than that, what makes for the very best gifts. And I think at the top of the line, the very best gifts are that come with a recognition of our very highest self. Not just who we are, but our very highest who we are. Like Jesus saw those around him and told them they were the light of the world, no matter who they were, fishermen or carpenters or whoever he was looking at. He told everyone, you are the light of the world. He saw not just who you are, but your highest self, your highest selfhood. And it seems to me that's the greatest gift of all, isn't it? When we are seen in that way and when we see others in that way, despite all conditions or appearances to the contrary, somebody sees you as the precious child of creation that you are, unique, possessed of vast potential because of your divine connection, God in you that makes all things possible. Kind of like the wise men who saw the royalty in a carpenter's son. We all are called to and feel the most joy and fulfillment in life when we see others in that light and when we are seeing in that light ourselves. Recognition of that higher selfhood. That's the greatest gift exchange, I think, of the season, when we can do that, when we can see one another in that light. And in a way, it seems to me that's very much what this Christmas is about, what this Christmas Eve candlelighting service is about. It has everything to do with Christmas. This is the time we remind ourselves we are all the light of the world. It wasn't just Jesus of Nazareth. He said the light was in us all, and we all have the opportunity and the responsibility and the privilege of carrying that light and shining a little bit of it as much as we can, day by day, moment by moment. We are divine offspring, children of the Father of lights, as James put it. with a tremendous potential for good in us, and we let that good loose into the world every time we find a way to shine our light a little bit. And one of the big ways we do that is to see the light in one another. No matter what conditions we're facing, what challenges we're facing, if we can see the light in one another, we are letting our own light shine a little bit, and it radiates outward, and it increases beyond our sight, beyond our ability to track, just the way a kindness does. When somebody's kind to you, you remember that, and you take that with you. It's a way we kind of spread the light. It lasts, it spreads out a good deal. So I think we're going to kind of use that as our affirmation as we head into our candle lighting tonight. I am the light of the world. Why don't you join me in that?
I am the light of the world.
As we pass the light around, we're going to pass it around, seeing the light in one another. And if you feel like, say it or think to yourself, at least as you pass the light to the next person, say, I see the light in you. I see the light in you. All right. Well, so we're going to start that in just a moment, and we're going to do a lovely solstice song by Jan Garrett after we kind of get the light moving along. You've all been given a candle. Does anyone not have one and needs one for the candle lighting? Larry has a basket of them right there in the center. He can pass another one along to you if you need one. And hopefully you've taken that affirmation off. If not, do it now before it burns up. We don't want that to happen. We always, those are wrapped around there with the hope that you get the one that's just right for you by some kind of divine order, that affirmation to take home with you and take into the new year. In a moment, we're going to light those. We'll start the lighting from up here. I'll ask Linda to help me with that. Remember, as you're lighting your own candle, tip the unlit one. You should never tip a burnt candle with the wax to do it. Just always tip the unlit one to receive the light from the person who's passing it along to you. All right. Well, I think I'm going to start with the musicians. Why don't you come on over, and they have an affirmation up here as well. So take your affirmation and light your candle, and you can put it right back in your holder. Linda, you will pass the light along. I'm breaking my own rule. There. Thank you. You can just start down a row, and everyone will pass it along, yes? Just giving me adjustments so that I don't clank my microphone. Okay. All right. And maybe we could bring those house lights down out here. Keep them up here so we can see our music, but yeah. That's good. Okay.
Now that the year is turned
to Joe as well. Thank you to Joe as well. Good job. Thank you to Michael Contras for doing our sound tonight and for the help with the candle lighting. And thank you to all of you for being here tonight, for spreading the light among us. We're going to take that light with us even though we blow out the candles, am I right? We're going to take it into the new year and spread it everywhere we can, any way we can. We are the light of the world. Let's say that once again. We are the light of the world.
We are the light of the world.
All right, so let's say the prayer for protection together if we could. The light of God surrounds us. The love of God enfolds us. The power of God protects us. The presence of God watches over us. Wherever we are, God is, and all is well. And so it is. And one more affirmation. Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
Thank you all for being here. We're going to just close. You can blow out your candle now, let it cool a little bit, and you can drop it in the basket, or Larry can pass that along to you if you prefer. No rush on that. I do want to mention love offering baskets are on the back tables. If you have a Christmas tithe you want to leave with us, we always receive that gratefully. And there's some holiday cookies by the door on your way out too if you'd like to take a Cheryl's cookie with you. And a reminder, you folks who come regularly, you know we're not having a service on Sunday. So just a reminder about that. No regular service on 12/26. So glad you could all be here this evening. I didn't know how many would come. We never know now, so it's a surprise and a delight, isn't it?
Yes.
Yes. So thank you all for being here. And let's, as Linda Joel will do a Christmas carol for us, I think, while we kind of disperse and put those candles down. So let's enjoy that.